it's Kirby
and Dana.
KJF-TravelAdventures. We're on day 5 of our Wyoming National Park road trip. It's full day 1 in Yellowstone. Let's go. Our side quest stop to see that awesome coyote. We're at our first official stop of the day at Gibbon Falls. So we purchased an itinerary from a company called Dirt in My Shoes. She also has a YouTube channel.
Yes.
She's a former national park ranger. So she has a lot of free resources to help you plan national park trips. But because Yellowstone is so large and popular, we wanted a little bit of extra help. So we purchased a
itinerary.
Thank you.
That it gives you timing advice, which helps you get to places before the masses do, so you're able to like park. It's not like we were alone at any of these places, but we were able to park, and that was huge.
And it's based on like, if you have 2 days, here's how to get the most popular things done in 2 days. We had 3 days, so here's the plan we did for 3 days, and then we supplemented, info from the GuideAlong or just some other research we had done when timing, we were sort of ahead of schedule. But I think it was really helpful in prioritizing. Like, I would never have thought to do Gibbon Falls first, because it's not like the most popular thing ever, but Dirt in My Shoes said, well, you're going on the correct side of the road and there's only 4 spots in the parking lot.
Right.
So if you don't do it first, you're going to be turning left at the end of the day when everybody else is in there and fighting for a spot. So like those kinds of things that help you make sure you can find a parking spot, which was super helpful. We're on another little side quest. This is Virginia Cascades. Scenic Drive. Our first stop is Lookout Point.
This lookout provides an excellent view back to the lower falls that captures a beautiful panoramic view of the falls, the canyon cliffs, and if it's a nice day, all backdropped by a wide blue sky.
The upstairs exhibits in the Canyon Village Visitor Center. So far, Yellowstone has had lots of accessible options. scenic drive and a few stops along the way. Let's go. Officially hit a bison jam. Just walking down the middle of the road. Do bison have turn signals? We had some drizzle of rain, so we stopped at our picnic lunch. We're at Mud Volcano, and it's a good thing that YouTube doesn't do smell-o-vision. This is Mud Cauldron, and it smells gross.
When it was first documented by the Washburn expedition in 1870, the mud volcano had a cone of hardened mud over its opening. Just 2 years later, when revisited, it looked like it does today. So, some type of steam explosion must have ripped the old cone apart. The boiling mud is like an endless cycle. Hydrogen sulfide rises from the earth, which provides the boiling effect. Unique bacteria convert the hydrogen sulfide into sulfuric acid, and the acid is strong enough that it is constantly dissolving the rock and soil around it.
Alright, so we've deviated a little from the Dirt My Shoes itinerary to keep going towards Fishing Bridge and the visitor center there, because that's not on any of our itineraries and we're a little bit ahead of schedule. So let's check it out. Alright, we're now at the Fishing Village Visitor Center. This is as far east as we'll go, and then we'll start backtracking to the things we missed on the way here, and then ending at the Norris Geyser Basin. This is Yellowstone Lake. Well, I don't know if you can grasp just how massive it is. You're in a national park when this is the walk to the restaurant. Oh, I just saw a fish. Sulfur Cauldron, and it smells as bad as you think it would. we've officially arrived at the Norris Geyser Basin. Let's check it out.
If this is our first time to be at Norris, then this is one of the must-do stops in Yellowstone. This is the hottest geyser basin in the park, and therefore one of the hottest in the world. There are 2 loop walks to follow. One takes us around Porcelain Basin, and the other explores Back Basin. The Back Basin Loop is about a 1.5 mile trip, and it's home to Steamboat Geyser, the tallest active geyser in the world. The trails and boardwalks of Porcelain Basin total about 3/4 of a mile.
Like we're on another planet. This is so weird. So the Porcelain Basin Loop had a lot of stairs, so wouldn't be good for anybody with mobility issues. But we're on the Back Basin Loop, and it's all boardwalk with no stairs so far, and it's just been gently sloping. This is Ekinus Geyser. This loop is boardwalk. There has been some just packed dirt, but which has had some water, so you couldn't do the full loop in a mobility chair or a We did both the Porcelain Basin and Back Basin loop. The total was about 3 miles, took us an hour and a half, and we gained 300 feet of elevation. Alright, final thoughts on our first full day of Yellowstone adventuring.
It was really nice. The Grand Canyon and the upper and lower falls are kind of like all those those pictures that you see from the postcards of Yellowstone, that's kind of what we saw. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and again, not so people-y, right? This is not Old Faithful. It's not the most popular thing to do in Yellowstone, so a little bit more of that nature and hiking trails. And like, I really liked the Norris Geyser Basin and those like boardwalks and walking around and looking at that.
And that was busier than West Thumb for sure.
Which we did yesterday.
It was also so big and the trails were so spread out that you didn't feel like people were on top of you.
Yeah.
So it felt calmer, which is good. Yeah. But you got to see a lot of cool stuff.
They had a lot of really cool thermal features, so.
The mud volcanoes, the dragon's mouth, whatever's, that was, I think that was my favorite.
Dragon's mouth was your favorite thing? Yeah. We used a combination of, GuideAlong, which we've talked about in all of our videos. If you're going to a national park and there's a GuideAlong, do it. Not sponsored, willing to be, because we use it and love it, right?
Yeah.
And we said earlier, we bought the Dirt in My Shoes itinerary, and I think that really helped sort of in conjunction for us to get the most out of this without, trying to pack everything in and not being overwhelmed by timing and planning and people. So I would definitely recommend both of those if you were planning a trip. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, I'm Kirby.
I'm Dana.
From KJF-TravelAdventures. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notified when all of our new videos drop. Bye.